In chapter 4, verse 2 of this week's Parsha, the Torah tells us that Hashem doesn't want us to add anything to the Torah, which seems strange, because I understand why not to take things away. It's a holy book. Why not to add things? Maybe we want to have an extra mitzvah. Maybe we want to have other things. We learn later on, by the way, in chapter 13, verse 1 of the same book of Devarim, the Rambam tells us there that there's a mitzvah not to add to the Torah. But why is that? So the Dubno Maggid, in his classic style of telling stories, tells us a story. And I think it illustrates exactly why we can't add to the Torah. I'm going to adapt it a little bit to today's audience. Let's say you have two neighbors. One neighbor's name is Bob, and the other one is Jimmy. And Jimmy always borrows things from Bob. And first he borrows things like a fork. He'll say, "Can I borrow a fork?" Bob says, "Sure." Jimmy brings back not one fork, but two. Bob says, "Why is that? How'd that happen?" He says, "Oh, don't worry about it. Your fork gave birth to another fork." "Okay," says Bob, "that's nice. I get extra stuff." So the second time that Jimmy comes and asks for something, he asks for a plate, Bob gives him a plate. And Jimmy brings back two plates. Bob's getting really excited. This is very cool. Nice arrangement. I get two. Comes along a third time that Jimmy asks for something. He asks for something a little bit more significant. He asks for, say, a Kiddish Cup. And Bob gives him the Kiddish Cup, thinking he's going to get back two. Jimmy doesn't come back. And Bob says, "What happened? Where's my Kiddish Cup?" And Jimmy says, "Well, your Kiddish Cup died in childbirth." "Wait a minute," says Bob. "Kiddish Cups don't die in childbirth." He says, "Yeah, well, forks and plates don't give birth to forks and plates either." And the explanation is this. Once you take ownership of something, once it's yours, and you can say whatever you want about it, you can create your own narrative, you can make your own story up, you can add things, take away things, it's yours. The Torah is not ours. As much as it's an inheritance and we can learn it and absorb it and come closer to Hashem, we have to remember that the Torah is Hashem's. It's His guidebook to life. It teaches us spirituality, it teaches us history, it teaches us self-help, it teaches us business ethics, it teaches us laws. There's a lot in the Torah. There's something for every profession in the Torah. For every mind, there's greatness in the Torah. But that's because the Torah is a great book. It comes from Hashem. It is the book of everything. The entire history of the world is in that book. That special, special book that He gave us on Mount Sinai. We can't tamper with it. We can't make it ours. We can't manipulate it in any way. We can't add to it. We can't subtract from it. It's a wonderful, amazing book. And the more we learn it, as God willing we will as a community, we'll learn it together, we'll grow together, and we'll go closer to Hashem, the author of the book, together. Shabbat Shalom.